Okay, boys and girls, so there was a little bit of a miscommunication. Unfortunately, we had a few problems with the server, and the map that was chosen caused everyone to crash out. So, as you can imagine, that must have been a wonderful thing. Anyway, I haven't actually managed to receive confirmation that the round is underway, so we shall proceed under the assumption that it is. And let me tell you about what's going on. So you can see this section here now being hit by the cannonball coming in from the church across the bridge. So you're now looking at Ultimate Me having a little bit of a melee dozy-do with one of the enemies. And let me tell you about the team. So obviously you've got the 95th, the 4E, the 56th, the 88th also in there on the English side, and of course you have the 77Y in as the Russians. So you can see, looks like they're pushing slowly into this little breach. Now it looks like the 77Y going a little bit aggressive now. Now let's see who this is. That's Georgia leading out the troops on the far left hand side, and they're probably going to try and take down that cannon to stop it attacking them from one side. But also what they're going to try and do is no doubt sort of keep this area here actually pinned down so that nobody can get there. It's either that or they'll go for a mass suicide. What's going on? What's going on? What the hell? So, Invitational, 95th Invitational RT Caboose is currently stuck. Ah, there we go! A suicide attack. There we go. The suicide attack has been done. And who was that? That was Templar. So Templar went down on the suicide run. So now you can see them troops pushing up on one side. And here we go. So the English now moving in. The Brits pushing up. You can see, obviously, they've got the ladder there. They've got to make their way up. Coming under fire from the Russians. These main gates, which they can actually bust down, but these that they cannot. So you can see significant damage being done to the walls by the artillery. So let's go and check to see how things are going on. As Blind Owl shoots Patrick Jet. The irony of that kill feed, kind of slightly funny. But let's see. There is the 13th. And out comes the cannon fire from the 95th Artillery. Cadet Badass. And of course, Invitation Blossom. Aww. So let's have a look at the... Oh, Nelly! That was a cannonball sent directly at Blossom. Oh dear, that was a bit cruel. So anyway, there's no chivalry in war. They'll even shoot at women. I know, what are the odds? So you can see here the English troops getting set up. Sorry, the British, my apologies. And as we fly through the undergrowth over to the second cannon position. In the second cannon position we have Kana. Seems to be quite an all-women affair on the artillery. Nobody does high explosive maiming and general destruction like women. But never mind. So let's just see what's going on. As now we shall move in to see the 95th Major Viper, complete with Stogie, leading his line forward. So here we go, the 95th Rifles. There's Doom Ninja in there as well. And there's also a cadet car. No, Dithan as well. So Car and Dithan, they're now in. And you can see a large amount of the Brits moving over to this particular area. Now, this is the area where Georgia and his troops had an area being protected. Now, here's Caboose, who recently fell down the cliff. As you can see, he's from one company. So either that was one of those badges like I am one today. So now it looks like the 77Y Suicide Squid have decided to pull back, and now Caboose is back into a particularly good position. And now you can see... Oh dear, that was Silencer bringing bagpipes. Somebody just got de-bagpiped. You can see here, there's Ron Burgundy in there. And there, of course, is Wiggins Brad, bagpipery extraordinaire. And so you can see them sitting here. There's Crispy Bacon. And, of course, Ensign Winnie the Pooh from the 88th. Now, The thing is, the only drawback for them is they do not have a breach there, but they do have a breach here. Which means they've got to run the gauntlet across in front of the 77Y. They've lost a few members, and now they've got to charge in through this breach. And there we go. Major Viper gets taken down. Out goes the bagpiperiness. Bit of offensive bagpipery is occurring. Oh dear. Charlie the Charlie the Turtle taking out multiple members of the 56th. And you can see here. Yes. Oh, what's going on here? Mad Andy versus Carr. So Mad Andy and Carr having a battle. Oh, a bit of passing in the night here. Bit of ships in the night. Oh, look at that, Mad Andy with a nice kill onto Huey. So now let's see what's going on. Who's this he's fighting? Ultimate Me. And you can see Ultimate Me going in for the stab. As yet more people being taken down by Charlie the Turtle. How's he doing? 11-0. And Grenadier October. So Ultimate Me. Ultimate Me having a little bit of a tussle with a member of the Black Watch. So we'll leave him to it. Those two are dancing. Oh, there we go. As soon as we leave, typical, Ultimate Me snuffs it. So now, this is interesting because you can see a few members here. There's Gaz and Panos and Mad Andy, along with a tail ender, of course, Mr. Tiger Jelly, along with, oh, White Knight, Crazy Fish, Cadet Khan, Cadet Creeper, Jawak, Rolly, T4, Demolition, and Sniper, all moving out. And this is what they're doing. This is as expected. They are holding this point down against the evil Scotsman who will be pushing up this particular section. So now you can see they will be trying to hold this stairwell. Now, let's move in and follow the 56th into battle. Led by their erstwhile commander, Lieutenant Colonel John. Correction. Major Forgiven also in there, working with his line. And there, of course, correction, is the commanding officer, Colonel Joe. Sons of the hounds, come here and now moving in. Oh dear. Oh, Major and Colonel dead next to each other, followed by a quick teabag from Cavalier Captain Griffin. Obviously not very happy that he has been taken from cavalry and horsey goodness in order to proceed in the line. But, you know, these things happen. Oh dear. A few members of the Black Watch taking some bullets. And you can see moving in behind them, you have Mate Cake, 13th TL. And let's see. So this is the breach on the opposing side, being guarded by the likes of Patrick Jet, Strelane and Snarfy. So those guys are doing their best to defend. Templar doing his best to hide. And also hiding, there's Patrick Jet and there's Rainbow Vein. And these guys obviously sitting behind the cover that's available to them. Oh, nice stab into Templar, and Aztir taken down. It's now an official battle. Aztir has snuffed it. And now you can see his light Loki. You've got Ray and you've got Ranger over here. These guys adding in additional fire onto the likes of the 13TL, who can't really go anywhere. But look at those breaches. Fantastic breaches coming in from the United Kingdom forces. There's a Dirty Morth. Look, complete with a beard. Oh, Dirty Morth sporting a beard. Always nice to see. And let's see if we can find out what's going on. As we are now looking. Oh, here we go. An armed bagpiper. This is dangerous stuff we're seeing here. And there we go. Wiggins Brad with a bagpiper-related murder. So you can't trust those dirty bagpipers. And more fire coming in. And now we're watching Crest P. Bacon taking on the Russians on the ramparts and being well and truly sliced. So poor old Crispy Bacon is no more. Now we're looking at, obviously, Liberty Stout, one of the marksmen, over on the far side of the fort. Let's see who's dealing with these people. There's Poppleton. There's a man with an extremely large ball attached to his arm. That would be, of course, the rubberized one himself. And working with a sheep, which is probably less we want to say about Sticky Rubber's personal life, the better, really. So let's have a look at Zaib in there as well. And, of course, the mass murderer that is Charlie the Turtle. So here he's doing a good job on his artillery goodness. There's Slayer Boy working together with Samo. And then over here we have Terminal Ducky, great name. Hero Corey. Who else is he working with? Poshgit 15. And in there is, of course, the commanding officer. How this man is still alive is just beyond me. How can this man still be living? But he seems to have got himself a good position. His legs are being protected, and he can duck behind cover if need be. And he can stay close to the artillery and deal with the enemy as they are coming up the ladders. So you just got to be careful to stand in front of the artillery. So Mal obviously picking and choosing where he decides to stand. Taking pot shots. Oh, that came close. That came close. And now you can see the Brits making their way through the front gate. Now this is going to be a problem for them because they will not be able to get through here. They are going to be blocked in. And now members of the 77Y hopefully will move in and actually start charging in and shooting from all directions. But at the moment you've just got the selection here. The likes, of course, Mr. Morth and friends. And there, of course. Now you can see here, over on the far right side, there's Cadet Creeper. These are all the guys who are standing up on the fort, on the wall. Fireboy, there's Polska 77, there's Ernie. And there, of course, is Gaz. Hootsmon, Jings, Crivens, etc. Macaroni in there. Thomas, of course. Johnny KM, Ultimate Me. Liquid Squawk. Cadet Saunders. Cadet Khan. And, of course, Dutch Ref. And over the back here, we can see Cadet White Knight. Now you can see one of the... Oh, the sticky rubber's been taken down. The rubberized one has not successfully bounced back from that one. But never mind. As you can see, they're still pushing up the ladder. So you can see the Brits still bravely pushing up the ladder. Bodies sliding back down. As these fine fellows from the 56th moving up into a line of bayonets. Look at that. Oh, that's just brutal. Cadet Eyeball, Gaz, Ernie and Thomas. Oh my goodness. Look at that. That's just... Oh god, that's just horrible. Look at that. Can one get in? Can the commander get in? No, the ensign gets taken down. And they manage to defend their fort. And the Russians have successfully defended their fort against the attack of the Brits. And we shall move on to the next round. And who doesn't want to start the next round watching a bunch of Scotsmen in skirts getting lined up nearby the Kazi? So as we gently... We don't even have a newspaper. There's not even like a herald that we can read as to the latest news on the wars. And the hell? How the hell did Gaz die? Wow. That's a fantastic shot. That is just stonking. And there we go. Gaz dead already. Oh, Peanut, that is a pro shot right there. And Aztir is in as a bagpiper, which basically means he ain't going to last long. So, now it is the turn of the 77Y to attack the fort. Over on the artillery on the left-hand side is, of course, Mr. Turtle and the sheep. Romeo and Mad Andy taken out now. You can see over here, there's Samo working together with Thomas. So they are obviously moving up to the island cannon that's over here on the left-hand side. Now, this is a very interesting position. It's quite well isolated, well defended, is easy to defend. It's difficult for people to actually get up here without being noticed. And they have a very good point-blank view onto the side and can essentially devastate this entrance here. So, up come a bunch of Scotsmen. And oh dear. So it looks like we're having a little bit of a technical problem. As you can now see, the 35th in there getting into a little bit of a run out with a collection of the enemy. And now Aztir moves in and manages to get the ladder up just in time as he catches a bullet from a bunch of the 35th. And now the Brits are on their way up, going in for a bit of stabby goodness. There we go. The stabby goodness commences. And they're taking huge amounts of fire from the enemy. And they're also trying to fire back at the enemy as well. There's no grenades going on here. So you can see them stabbing their way in as best they can. Oh, look at that, one of the Russians there. That was Spiky doing a good job, trying to take out as many as possible. But yeah, this is looking not good as far as the Russian team are concerned. And in there, of course, is Doom Ninja with a large chopper. And now no stomach. And here's Matthias. Now, this is going to be interesting because that door's open. Could they... No. No, they're not going to. Oh, that would be cheeky. If these guys... Okay, so first things first, they've got to get through the door without getting stuck. That would be their first point of call. So it looks like the door's bugged out. So the door's actually... There we go. The door's now closed. Oh dear. Eyeball takes one to the eyeball. And now the Russians are going to be pushing in. As these guys are going to have run into a huge amount of problems. Because most of their forces are spread over to the left. And that is going to be a rather nasty situation. Because a lot of the Brits make their run into there. And they can essentially overrun that very quickly. Oh, here we go. Yeah, now they've done it. So, there we go. Who was that who opened it? Snarfy opening it for his team. Fantastic moment there for Snarfy. Now, obviously, the Russians got to be careful because now the Brits are all over the right-hand wall. The Russian taking a little bit of damage. And one of these guys is going to hold open or move out. There we go. He's going to open it up for the team. And they're going to see how they get on. As in comes the 77Y pain train. A bunch of Scotsmen. And they don't look particularly pleased, I have to say. There's Panos the Pyro.
Come on, you bastards!
And now they're pushing in. Now the trouble is, because they pushed into this section, they could conceivably push pretty hardcore into the middle and take this particular section very quickly. Now obviously what they're doing is they're fanning out, trying to go in through the front section here and deal with any of the Russians in this area. So unfortunately people are having problems. Okay, you... Oh god. Can't spawn, go spec, and then change back. Okay, so yeah, basically the problem is sometimes they have it where they can't spawn. It's a little bit of a bug, and it means they have to go to spectator and then change back in order to actually be able to spawn. Now fortunately for the Russians, they actually managed to reinforce the troops and get as many people into this flag area as possible. So, oh, Malekith being taken down, and now you can see there is a breach on the right left-hand wall, I think you should say. So let's see. So there's the artillery there. These two fine fellows working together. Zaib, who's rocking the Freddie Mercury look, I have to say. So you can see those two guys working together. Now, they're probably going to go, if I reckon, maybe either for a breach on that wall. We'll have to see. Or, no, they're actually looking to get a breach onto that wall. firing through that position into here to get a second breach onto the internal section. So that's going to be interesting to see how things go. As you can see, the cannonballs continuing to fire in, and you can see Hauptmann Lars from the 13th deciding whom to shoot at, as there are so many. And you can see there's also evil Scotsman in here taking down Cayena. And there's Gorpus's Cadet Nico in there trying to do a little bit of damage. So you can see now as the quick one. Marksman, the quick one no less. God, they got a lot of beards in this group, haven't they? Moomin Jersey. Yay for the Moomins. And there's Major Unforgiven from the 56th. And these guys got to be careful, as you can see. Oh, there goes Oakenshield. Gamer gets taken down. And it's 12 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock. So as you can see, pretty much a good rotation of troops here from the 23 and the 35th and the 56th. Now defending what is essentially a weak point over here on the right-hand side of the fort. So you can see the Scots Guards here, the Black Watch I should say, making a push in. And you can see Cadet Broas being taken down. And poor Cadet Matt. As you've also got, who's this? Major Unforgiven going clutch. Major stabbings going on. Oh, that was a majorly good play. So Major Unforgiven doing a fantastic job. Going in for a quick stab. And he gets taken roughly from behind. He's not going to enjoy that. At least not until Saturday night. But we shall find out how things go. There's Lance Corporal Joker doing his calisthenics. Got to make sure that you are fit and able and supple to take on the enemy. So Marksman Ranger in the house. Oh, they're doing an attack. They're attacking the bagpiper. Colonel Aztid defending his bagpipes to the end. Oh, there we go. They're in with the hose. It's time for the hose and the bitches. Yep, the hose have been taken down. There'll be no hose in this house, thank you very much. Just music and bagpipes. So, it's all about the breeches and hose. If you get that, I'll be very impressed. So anyway, there's Lieutenant Colonel Jolla. And Alan Davis, no less. Good stuff. And also, obviously, Recruit Ace. And Captain Huey. So, 80 members of the United Kingdom forces. 62 members of the Russian forces. Now, bear in mind that these guys, after a certain amount of lives, the Russians will... Why is he knocking on the door? Is anyone going to come in? Okay, this is a man who's very desperate to have something to eat. It's either that or he's checking upstairs to find out what's going on. Now, aha! Here's a man who's desperate to do a little bit of musical. No, maybe not. Maybe not. So I thought he was going to go in for a little bit of musical paraphernalia, but apparently not. There, of course, is Token taking a pot shot into Grayscale from the 88th, who was standing up on the wall. These Russians got to be careful. Lance Corporal Joker going to come under pressure. Colonel Joe coming under a lot more pressure. Nice shots. And apparently there is a breach by the church, or a breach by the Kirch, as it's known. So you can see over here multiple breaches from the 77Y on both sides. Let's see how the central point is dealing, I should say. There we go. So you can see, yeah, they've got that up as well. Unfortunately, they haven't managed to get anybody up there to take that point back down again. And bear in mind, that's where the actual winder is. So they could potentially close it. You can see the Russians now fighting with the Brits for control of that section. Obviously, he's not doing much fighting at the moment. And there, of course, is Monsieur Rubber. Looking for a cannon. He is a cannoneer without portfolio right now. Looking to avoid those bullets. Working together with that looks like Panos the Pyro. It is, of course, recognise that face a mile away. So, Major Unforgiven with 10 and down goes Panos. With 10 and 2, so fantastic stuff. As now we're looking at the Brits making their way up through the middle. There's Marksman, the quick one. And there, boys and girls, goes Captain Thomas. So, poor old Thomas. And now, loads of Brits pouring in through the arch. Into this section here. Now trying to deal. Oh dear, he's surrendered already. Not that it did him any good. And now we're looking at the defence of the flag. Now, this isn't as much a defence as it is trying to block holes, as you can see. You've got massive hole there, massive hole there, and a large hole there, and 2 large holes here. Oh, lovely shot from the 95th into from Ninja into multiple cadets and poor old Big. So you can see here, the mortar has been silenced. There's Mate Cake. Another mortar is still up. One of the other cannons still remains. And the cannon on the far side has been silenced. Maybe? No. Kenya is back in to try and deal with that now. Look at that. That, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly what a cannoneer will be looking for. Thomas 3022. As Bill the Butcher catches a bullet to the face. So let's see what's going on. As you can see, unfortunately, didn't quite get the cannon off in time. Could have taken out a lot of those people. And we'll just have to wait and see what goes on as they make their way into the archway. Now, this is good because what the Russians have now done is they've closed that portcullis. This basically closes off this route for the Brits and now forces them to go through another location. That means you can essentially channel them in through one location and cut them down as quickly as possible. So it's a change in fortunes as far as the Brits are concerned, coming up through the arches. And there's a Thomas in there doing his best, fighting his way in. You can see Lambent Cookie in there, going in for a nice stab. Oh, onto Macaroni and onto Occo. And more stabbings going on. More stabbings. Oh, look at that. And now we're following Rubber while he's trying to clean people's ears out. As you can see here. It looks like they managed to get some people in. And they got to this portcullis. Not sure what... I don't know what Demolition's doing right now. Except possibly having a seizure. So now we're looking at Terminal Ducky. Terminal Ducky with a nice turn and stab. Oh, and another opportunistic stab from Terminal Ducky. You don't mess with ducks. They do not duck around. Yeah, sorry. And he got well and truly ducked up. Anyway, poor old Terminal Ducky is now a Terminal Duck. Repo in there as well. Malekith unfortunately being shot by Alan Davis. Today's letter is S for shot. Or possibly T for target. We shall just have to wait and see. So, Cadet Creeper. In there. And there's Celiatosis. Or Celiatos. Oh, Jesus. Liquid Squawk. For those of you who don't remember, this is the designer of Malekith's avatar. So, obviously, we shall have to keep a close eye on him. The guy needs a haircut. So anyway, Mr. Crispy Bacon. Of course, the well-known Russian bacon family. And let's see. Major Viper. Now let's find out what's going on in this defensive area. So those doors are down. That means that's a weak area. Now obviously that's not exactly what you call a wall, as you would call a kind of massive opening. But as a result, if they close that, it's not really going to do a huge amount of difference, to be honest. because there's just too many members of the 77Y pouring into this particular area. So you can see them now moving their way in, and they're doing their thing, getting their stabbing and doing any kind of forcing a team kill they can do. That's one less life. And you can see more stabbing going on from Vanguard here from 13TL. Nice turn stab attempt. Look at that. Oh, lovely turn stab. Oh, but he gets taken down. Cadet Romeo.
Scotland forever!
Romeo taking him down with a lovely stab. So you can see here, look at the damage done to this fort. And now, plenty of Russians defending the area. As Cadet Ninja takes down multiple members of the 77Y. Now, who's this? This is Kesera. And, of course, Lieutenant Kroigi. Dagman. And there's Moomin Jersey. And, of course, Alan Davis. And Ron Burgundy. And even look at that, he's even got the moustache as well. Isn't that fantastic? Yes, there are a deeply worrying amount of Scotsmen coming towards you. Oh, but less so as they come up this ladder. So you can see them standing at the bottom of the ladder trying to shoot, but these guys have got to try and get up there. And you can see fire coming down into Requiem and the Quick One, and Gaz being taken down by Jersey as well. And let's see, a bit of fire coming in, Poppleton and Patton. And oh no, the Terminal Ducky. Taken down by the Sizzly Bacony one. Mr. Chris P. Bacon. Or Christopher P. Bacon. And so here's Ultimate Me trying to deal with a Russian. Smollett, who basically deals with the issue by running away. Only for his enemy to get killed. So let's see. Oberst Talist. Seamus. Cadet Spikey. Who's that? Tyrion. Oh, there's Scotsman. There's a sheep in there. There's a sheep let loose. Let loose around the flag. Look out. He may be rabid. He most certainly is. If he doesn't bite, he will stab you. And now there's a significant number of the Brits in the major flag area. And now they're pouring in quite significantly onto the point. 36 minutes, 36 seconds left on the clock. So this is their opportunity to charge. This is the only time that the 77Y are going to have this opportunity. So they've got to charge in very quickly. Try and make the best of it as one of the Russians then falls off and gets stabbed very quickly. And the flag is now dropping like a stone as there is a huge amount of Brits. And I think it's fair to say that they may have captured this particular fort on behalf of the Black Watch. So there you have it, boys and girls. That has been tonight's siege. Sorry it started a little bit strangely, the first round. Hard to tell whether or not it was live or not, but, you know, hey-ho, diddly-do. These things happen. But anyway, I hope you like this. Obviously, normally what happens is I tend to be casting Team Fortress 2 at about this time. So, unfortunately, there wasn't a scrim tonight, or at this time. So, how could I deny you, lovely people, a wonderful 77Y siege battle? So, there you have it, boys and girls. That has been it. I hope you've enjoyed, and we'll see you again, hopefully soon.